Hi there, it's Tanya Lucille. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. I'm glad that you're here. I am in the kitchen today and I have a few things going on, things I need to get done, and I'm just gonna take you with me and do a little bit of a chit chat about New Year's goals and some strategies and plans to help make 2023 a successful year. So join with me. Hey guys, I just did a Walmart pickup and I'm gonna put my hair up here. The first one of 2023. And I picked up some boneless, skinless chicken thighs. So what I'm gonna do is get these on 2 different marinades and get them in my fridge right away, so that way when I'm ready to cook them up this week, they're ready to go. But I'm gonna start by chopping up the peppers, because I'm gonna put peppers in both of these. So when I fry them up, it's gonna be chicken and peppers. So I am gonna save a little bit of peppers for our salad tonight. Let me just grab a bowl here. So I wanted to talk about this idea. It's the beginning of the year. I know a lot of people are making New Year's resolutions, and I think that's a great thing. I think everybody should set goals, even if resolutions are something that you never keep. You should still set goals, you should still dream, you should still verbalize them and plan and all of that kind of stuff. So, but, you know, I was thinking that this idea that so often we hope for things to happen. And you know, hope is not a plan. Hope is not a strategy. Hope is a feeling of trust. It is a feeling of faith. And we put our hope in Jesus Christ. And we can do that because we know that he already is victorious, that he died on the cross, and he took all of our sins to the grave, past, present, and future, and he is in heaven right now with God, and he is praying for us, and he is rooting for us, and he is hoping for us. But when it comes to our lives and the things that we want to accomplish and the things that we want to do, hope is not enough. Hope is not a strategy. It's just, you can't just hope that things are going to get better. You can pray about it. You can be proactive and take steps and plan things, but hope in and of itself is not a strategy, especially when it comes to making your goals and your things happen for this year. So, you know, thinking ahead, first of all, you know, the first thing I would suggest to do is to set your priorities. That's number one. And the best way to do that is to pray about it and to see what God wants you to put your focus on before you even think about what you think you need to do, is to take time and to pray, what are the priorities you have for me in my life, my family's life? What are the things I need to be working on right now, you know? And that can be health, it can be ministry related, it can be financial goals, you know, all those things, and you need to prioritize specifically what they are. You can't just hope that you're going to save money this year if you have absolutely no plan or strategy to do so. It's just not going to happen. And some of you may already be thinking, well, I don't even know what the date is today, but we're already into January, and you're like, oh, I've already messed up and did something that was against my resolution. And you think, okay, I failed. Well, I'm here to tell you that is a lie from the enemy. You have not failed. We have how many days in this year? A lot, 365. Progress over perfection. You just keep working towards those goals. You make your baby steps. And but first you need to know what your priorities are for the year. And they can be very specific, and the more specific they are, the more likely you'll accomplish them. So after you do that, the second thing I would suggest doing is to not compare yourself to anyone else. Because what I have planned and what you have planned are entirely different things. God has different purposes for us. He has different people in our lives. He has different goals. You cannot compare what you're working on to what someone else is working on. And even if some of the goals are similar, for example, you're working on your health and getting healthier, what will work for you in your life is not the same thing that's going to work for me in my life. So never compare what you're doing to somebody else. It's just a waste of energy, waste of time. Okay, so I'm just gonna divide up some of these peppers between the two bags. One, and leave a few for the salad tonight as well. Okay, that should be good. Okay, so I am doing the chicken thighs here. I'm gonna grab tongs. Okay, one of them is gonna be a Mango Magic. It's a seasoning that I need to use up, and it's almost gone. And the other one is going to be lemon pepper. And all I'm doing is adding a little bit of avocado oil and a little bit of the seasoning into the bags and mix them all around and put them in my fridge. Two, three, 4, 5, 6. There'll be 7 in each bag. Okay, so the third thing that I would suggest doing is to create a rhythm that works for you. And that means thinking about your schedule, thinking about your habits, your routine, doing something small every single day, making a habit of doing it leads to something big. Some very small changes are what and how you change something that's really big. So my suggestion would be to think about those things, something that you do every day, and just start to create that habit. How can you fit that into your schedule? How, everyone's goals are different, so to give you specifics doesn't really help in this situation. But there, examples are always good. For me, word before world is really important, and something that has changed my life is, that doesn't mean that I don't do a few things sometimes before I pray or read the Bible, but before I go out into this world, before I set up my feet to my to-do list, I always pray and read the Bible. I connect with God, because that is a relationship. That relationship is a priority to me. So that's an example. of a rhythm. If eating healthy and saving money, then, meal planning would be something that you might want to find a rhythm or a routine in your life, because both meal planning actually saves you money and saves you calories, if you don't know that. So, okay. So, and then another thing that I would suggest doing and thinking about is, I guess this would be number 4, would be to declutter, to minimize, to get rid of anything that is not servicing you well, that is not functioning in your life, that is not something you use on a daily basis, haven't used in the last year. Get rid of it. Start small, start with small spaces, 1 drawer, 1 closet, whatever, 1 collection, like games. I say games because it's something I need to go through. But this will help you be successful in other areas of your life, because it takes things off of your to-do list. The more stuff you have, the more you have to manage, the more you have to store, the more you have to clean and take care of, and blah, 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 blah. You get the idea. So less is more. That doesn't mean you have to be a minimalist and get rid of everything you own. So, all right, I'm gonna clean this up. I gotta pour my oil in, put these in my fridge, and then I'm gonna pull out what I'm getting ready for dinner tonight. Already washed these off, so I'm just going to cut up my cucumber and cut up some cherry tomatoes for dinner tonight. Dinner tonight is kind of a combo. I have leftover, what's it called? Spinach artichoke dip from New Year's. And it needs to get used up, so I'm going to mix it with a pound of ground lamb, and I'm going to make meatballs and bake them in the oven, and then we're going to have a salad, and I'm going to make some garlic bread as a side for the kids. What did I do with my knife? Found it. So the next thing on the list of things to think about on having a successful year and meeting your goals and your plans, or if you want to call them resolutions, whatever, is to delegate and ask for help. I know that this is something that people struggle with. I'm somebody who struggles with this one sometimes, because sometimes it's easier to just do it yourself. But delegating, especially to your family, to your children, things that you can take off your plate, things that you can teach them to do, especially life skills. It's so important to do this, or to ask for help when you need it. And this is something that I'm starting right now and have done a little bit in the past, in preparation for my surgery in February. I know that I'm going to need help. I know that I need to be prepared for just to be successful at recovery and to get all the things done. You know, I'm not going to be able to do everything that I do right now for my family. The exciting part is that after my hip replacement, I should be able to do a lot more in a good way. Just being physically fit and capable of walking. Walking is probably the hardest thing for me with my hip right now. So I'm excited for that. So one thing in our home that we delegate, or I delegate and have delegated for a long time, is laundry. All of my kids do their own laundry because it's a life skill that they need to know and they need to learn, and they're gonna have to do one day on their own anyway, so you might as well get used to doing it now. And I require them to do it all the way from washing, drying, and putting away, whether that's hanging or folding. Cannot be left in laundry baskets. So that's something that I delegated. Right now, I am delegating out parts of my kitchen, which is the hardest thing in the world for me to do because I love being in the kitchen, first of all. So this is never like work for me. This is something I enjoy doing. Sometimes it's drudgery, but that's just life, right? And it's mostly when I'm unprepared or I hope for something and I don't actually have a plan or a strategy to make it happen. So, but the kids we're on a schedule right now where kids are doing breakfast and lunches 100% on their own. Even the little guy with a little help from his siblings. This is not, I used to do all the lunch packing. They bring their lunch to school every single day. So, and how I'm doing that is I created a plan to keep it really, really simple. They eat the exact same thing all week for breakfast and for lunch. I know that's kind of monotonous, but it's simple to plan and it changes week to week. So they might get a little bored or sick of something by the end of the week, but then the next week it's going to be completely different. So it teaches them that food is fuel, that you eat what you plan to eat. It teaches them responsibility and packing it for themselves and not to just be like, oh, well, I don't want this, so I'm not going to eat it. Well, this is what you get. This is your choice. And it's all things that they like. So, for example, I'll show you just kind of what we got going on this week. So we have leftovers. We still have some stuff left over from the holiday season. I have a loaf of sourdough chocolate chip bread. I'm not eating that. We have some leftover cookies, some leftover things that my mom sent home from New Year's. So the kids are eating that with a glass of milk for breakfast. It's not the healthiest, but I'm not gonna throw it in the garbage. So once that's gone, then they'll switch to cereal for the rest of this week. That's what it is. And then lunch is bologna and cheese sandwich, pretty simple and plain, with an apple, a yogurt, and then we have a box of snacks in our house. If it's in a package, it's only consumed outside of the house, meaning on to-go, road trips, at school, etc. So I'm trying to use up the things that they liked the least and have left behind before I refill all of our snacks. So we have a box. I pulled everything and threw it in the box, and we will go through that until it's gone. So one snack with lunch, one snack for snack time. If they don't eat it at school, they can eat it at home or on the bus or whatever they do. Okay. And then dinner, I'm trying to keep it completely meat and vegetables. And then if there's a side like garlic bread, that's for the kids, not for me. And my husband is joining with me, so he's abstaining most of the time. So, and then next week it's gonna change. Pretty simple. All Okay, I got veggies mixed up to go on the salad tonight, so I'm just gonna put this in the fridge as is. Not even gonna cover it or anything. And so I'm gonna mix up the leftover spinach artichoke with the lamb, and then I'm going to just put that on a cookie sheet here. So when you're thinking about delegating or teaching your kids a new skill, or asking for help from family, I'm thinking ahead to surgery. I'm gonna have to ask for some help with some things, possibly running kids or whatever. One thing to remember that I repeat to myself because it's important, not to stress, but is done is better than perfect. When they're laundry, they're putting it away, whatever. Done is better than perfect. I don't expect perfection. I expect it to be clean and functional for them. Okay, I'm just gonna use my hands here to mix it because sometimes it's the best way to do that. So I've just got ground beef and then leftover dip, spinach artichoke. My spinach artichoke doesn't have, I found that you don't have to put mayo in it. If you don't put mayo in it, it's not greasy and it's so much better. So a lot of recipes call for mayonnaise. I just use the sour cream and the cream cheese with the spinach and the artichoke, and then just season it with some salt, pepper, garlic, whatever. But if you've ever had spinach artichoke dip that's really greasy, it's the mayo. Skip it, trust me. You won't miss it and it'll be healthier. Okay, so I know this is kind of gross, but it's the best way to mix it all together because I want to combine it really well before I put it on my cookie sheet. Super gross. Wash my hands. Okay, so change the angle here just a little bit, but here it's mixed up. I'm just going to use one of these things from Pampered Chef and scoop it out and put it right on there. Super easy, and bake it in the oven. So, okay, so I think that was number 5, to delegate or to ask for help when you need it. Don't be afraid to do that. It's something that we should be doing probably a lot more within community, within family, within all of that stuff. I don't know if that's something you struggle with or have. Comment below, I'm curious. I would love any questions or comments that you guys have. Okay, so moving on to the next one, which I kind of basically already talked about. And that's meal planning. To have a successful year, one needs to meal plan. And I'm pretty passionate about this one because right now, more than ever, groceries are extremely expensive. And I am very focused on my health right now more than ever. Eating out doesn't really pay. I'm not saying that we never do that, but meal planning really truly saves you money. It saves you time, and it saves you on your health because it's always healthier to eat at home because you can control the ingredients that go in your food. So if this is something that's new to you and this year it's on your to-do list, this is not something that's new to me. You know, I've been a mom. I have 7 children. I've been a mom for 20 years. Since the day I got married, I became a stepmom. And it's not something that's new to me, but if it is something that's new to you, what I'm saying is don't reinvent the wheel. Like, go with your basics. Go with the things that you know your family likes and prepare that, and just, you know, stick to that for a while before you try to introduce something new. You know, don't pick a new meal and go buy out all these special ingredients. You know, you guys saw me do Stocktober. I mean, I haven't grocery shopped other than today. I've picked up a few things, obviously, some dairy and some vegetables and fruit, but I haven't had to pick up much. Use what's on your shelves. Plan a meal around it. Even if you only have 1 or 2 things that are on your shelf that you need to use, combine it with what you need, you know, to purchase to make a new meal. I'm curious if, you know, meal planning doesn't work for you, does work for you. I've heard people say that it just doesn't work, which I think is a little crazy. I'm not saying that things don't get switched around, or you cook something on a different day that you had planned for Tuesday. One of the easiest ways to meal plan is to just make a list of everything you have in your home to create a meal, and then look on that list and be like, okay, we're gonna make this tonight. Also, to always have some meat defrosted if you eat meat, because if it's not defrosted, you're not gonna eat it most of the time. Some people use their microwaves. I've used my microwave on defrost setting many times. But meal planning is just so important to saving money and to eating healthy. And obviously we do it. I've done it a long time, but if you haven't tried it, you really should. I just encourage you to do that. You will find success in your health and in your pocketbook. So, okay, it's my last meatball. I'm gonna find a spot on here to put it. The last thing that I would say as we enter into this new year is that just remember that even if you fail or you think you fail, you haven't failed. It's just a step. Progress over perfection every single day, every single year. You're always learning, you're always growing, we're always getting wiser with each and every year in our lives. Don't sweat the small stuff. Don't sweat the things that you can't control. Understand what you can control and do what you can. Remember, I'm not telling you not to have hope, but I'm telling you that hope is not going to get the job done. You can't just hope that you're going to save money this year. You can't just hope that you're going to lose weight this year or get healthy this year. You can't just hope that you're going to memorize 5 new verses this year. You have to have a plan. You have to have a strategy. You have to put action behind it. And you have to think through. You have to be prepared. And I just encourage you to continue to be prepared and to continue to join with me in the Word of God in the kitchen and the home. Bye, guys.